Hello, lovely people.
Hi.
Thank you so much for joining us. And first of all, thank you so much for the wonderful response to our "We Are Having a Baby" video, which, we're having a baby.
Yay!
This video is sponsored by Surfshark because babies are expensive. Kind of mind-blowing.
Yeah, it's still, I know how many times I mentioned in that video, like, I still don't really know if I'm actually pregnant.
Still not really sure.
I've got quite a big bump.
Yeah, I do unfortunately have this habit of, I keep forgetting that she is this pregnant.
Yeah, Jessica does this thing. I told her off last night because we were just both doing a puzzle and then we both stood up, and then I think because we were so transfixed on the puzzle, Jessica kind of lost in, like, you know, was in her own little world. And we both stood up, and then like Jessica looked at me and went, in my belly, and it's like really like,
I just keep forgetting.
And she's like, oh, I just don't expect you to look like that. And I'm like, well, you know.
You're just one of those people though. Claudia has a body that in the 6 years I've known you really hasn't changed.
Anyway, nobody asked about that.
No, what we're going to be doing today in this video is answering some questions
That you've actually asked.
that aren't related to whether or not Claudia's hips have widened.
Yeah.
And these were all questions that were asked on our joint Instagram at Jessie and Claude, which if you don't follow already, you can follow by going to the link in the description.
So, I mean, these are kind of in no particular order. Will your baby have play dates with Rose and Rosie?
Yay!
We hope so.
My God, I hope COVID's not a thing.
Yeah.
The funny thing is that I was messaging Rosie throughout last year when we were both trying to conceive, and now, bizarrely, our babies are exactly 2 weeks apart in their due date.
It would be nice to have, you know, little play dates eventually.
Yeah.
Are we having a theme for the nursery?
Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna go for like woodland theme, which I think is quite a common...
I doubt that's shocking to you.
Yeah, it's quite a common nursery theme, I think, but especially for us, we like the outdoors, nature. We want to make it woodland as in British woodland as well, like things that our child would find and see around them. So if there are like little pictures of animals, they'll be like real looking animals rather than too cartoony or...
Yes, which leads into another question actually. Do we have any idea how we want to raise our babies? Which we do. We are very keen on the Montessori style.
I mean, when you say very keen, you should look at the pile of books Jessica has. Like, it's a little bit...
Okay. All right, just to be clear, this is not all of them
No,
because I've lent some of them out.
This is not even all of the books, like, but for the last 2 years, because that's when
this one's really good. Understanding the Human Being, excellent, highly recommend. Another good one, Emotional Life of the Child. Okay, the Montessori Family. This is a good one if you want to do a really brief. You know, I'm gonna make a video explaining this.
This one's good. This one's good as well. This is the Montessori Toddler. This has got like activities and stuff. Obviously, we don't have a toddler yet, but we're getting very prepared. Anyway, the point is, we're well read in the Montessori method now. We don't just read books, we read all the blogs, and we follow like Montessori Instagram accounts.
Oh yes.
We've researched local Montessori schools, Montessori nurseries. So some people have been asking, will you send your children to nursery, or will you have like a nanny? How's it going to work when you're both at work? We've been we haven't like got a fixed plan on this yet because it completely depends on...
I think if we've learned anything from 2020, it's that the best laid plans often go awry.
Our hope, I think, would be to send our baby when they're probably about 8 to 10 months, from around that age, to a nursery that's got Montessori methods. Yeah.
We haven't at all explained what Montessori is. Hi, I'm inserting myself in here because Claudia feels that we made a hash of explaining the Montessori method concisely. I feel she did a fine job, but I know better than to argue with my pregnant wife. The Montessori method is an approach to raising children that emphasizes independence, cooperation, and active learning in harmony with the child's unique pace of development. Think of a 1950s childhood, minus the lead paint and strict gender stereotypes. Lots of wooden toys, playing outdoors, added respect for children. Come on, I have this aesthetic, I have to see it through. So one thing that I have become understandably obsessed with recently is baby documentaries, or more specifically, baby developmental documentaries, because babies are fascinating. Did you know that babies can basically crawl from day one, but their heads are just too heavy, so you have to put them on a skateboard instead? True story. I'm a smidge obsessed with babies on Netflix and The Beginning of Life, the series. Honestly, Claudia and I have devoured all of the developmental documentaries on UK Netflix and BBC iPlayer, and now we need more. So please, leave suggestions below. Let me know what country you're in as well, so I can utilise the powers of Surfshark VPN. This is an advert. Surfshark is an app and browser extension that lets you convince your device into thinking that you are anywhere in the world, allowing you to access content that you can't usually see. Thank you to everyone who told me to watch The West Wing. I am very excited to get deeply sunk into it. Since we're currently still experiencing building site living, you may be able to hear various drilling. We often snuggle in the evening with a laptop to watch a show, and obviously Surfshark works on that because it works on laptops, phones, iPads, desktops, iPods, but it also works on Amazon Fire Sticks and smart TVs. So snuggling up on the sofa to use Surfshark is something that I am really looking forward to once I have my house back from these random men. Builders, they're not random. And amazingly, it lets you have one account on an unlimited number of devices. I should probably also mention that Surfshark makes your internet safer by masking your IP address, keeping your data private. Allegedly, that's why people buy VPNs, but in reality, I think we all know that we're buying them just to watch more content. I mean, specifically baby-related content. Click the link in the description and use code JESSICA. 83% off Surfshark plus 3 months extra for free. They offer a 30-day money-back guarantee, so go, go, go. Bypass the content throttling, government censorship, and the uncomfortable feeling that you are being tracked. You are. No, really. Your internet provider tracks your web history and file downloads. Advertisers track your browsing patterns and search history with cookies, and even those friendly-looking websites record your IP address and data every time you visit. Sorry that was miserable. Let's go back to some baby questions to make it better. Yay!
I think that's our cue to be like, stop talking about Montessori. Vintage baby stroller or no?
Yes!
A little bit of a debate about this one because I found the perfect baby stroller.
I don't disagree. Your stroller is perfect.
The one I think is really
for
good.
Our family. It's perfect.
We have to see it in person because with lockdown we can't go to any shops and try things out and see what they actually look like and feel like and what the weight of them are. But I really like the Cybex e-Pram because it's an electric buggy. It has sensors in the handles, and when it feels you moving either up a hill or down a hill or just walking along a flat bumpy road, it will help assist the load of the buggy with a bit of electric power. Really good for Jessica, it's practical, folds up, it fits baby car seats, normal bassinets from newborn age up to the age of 4. But Jessica wants
I found this thing, okay? I found this
massive bassinet scary horror movie style buggy.
Don't call it that! She thinks that's a horror movie buggy. No. The thing I have found, okay, it's called the Angel Cab.
Yeah, okay, that's fair enough. That's quite nice.
It's beautiful. The bassinet is a wicker basket and it has a pale top. And I know all the mothers are going to tell me that there is a reason for this, but I really dislike that so many buggies are very dark colours.
Clearly my option is much more suitable.
And mine is beautiful.
How do you feel your pregnancy differs from a cis-straight couple, it says?
Well, it does for me because I am quite mumsy, I think it's fair to say, but I'm not pregnant.
It's like when same-sex couples do have children, a lot of people say, who's going to be more the daddy figure and who's going to be the mummy figure?
Thank you for not asking that.
Because I don't really think that needs to be, because that's a bit like asking, oh, which one of you is more like the man?
We're both mums, but you're having more of the typical mum experience.
Yeah.
Because you're pregnant.
Because it is made from us. We've done this whole journey together. I personally believe more in nurture than in nature anyway. But then it's easier for me to say that because obviously I am the biological and half of the genetics of this child.
Yeah, I won't pretend it's not hard. It is hard, definitely. 95% of me is your loving and supportive partner who is just going through this pregnancy with you and who is like, oh, this is so great. Oh, my pregnant lady. And 5% of me is like...
Next question is, how does the legality work in the UK? Does Jessica have to adopt the baby after it's born?
Fortunately not. In the UK, because we are a legally wed couple, any child that is born to either of us within our marriage, if we can show that we have planned to have the baby together, is legally, has both of us on the birth certificate.
And we had to sign a lot of paperwork at the fertility clinic to state that we understood this.
And we were agreeing to start trying for a baby together.
But what is interesting, which I think is actually the law everywhere, is that the baby is legally mine and only mine until it's born.
Which is right and proper.
Yeah, I think that just is like whoever carries the child makes the decisions.
Although the embryos at our clinic belong to both of us.
Both of us, yeah. Which brings us on to another question people asked, which was...
how many more babies are we gonna have?
Everyone keeps telling me, like, have the first one and then decide.
Meanwhile, her wife is like, so I've been watching Bridgerton. How does 8 sound?
I think 3 is a nice number, although I think I'd be very happy with 2. Anyway, we will see how it goes. But we have 2 more embryos frozen.
But it's always been in my heart to adopt, and I'd love to also maybe foster if we're able to do that. Perhaps that would be something for when we're older, but I would really love to grow our family via adoption.
Right, lots of people have been asking, why did we get sperm from the US rather than in the UK?
That is a very good question. The answer to that is that not a lot of people donate sperm in the UK.
There's not such a wide pool of choice.
There are very strict rules.
In the UK, the law is that there has to be a ID known donor. Basically what that means is the donor has to disclose that they are happy to be like traceable to the child if and when the child turns 18 and wants to then know who the donor was.
But just to make clear what traceable means, it just means that the child gains access to the same profile that we were able to see, which has the sort of medical history and that kind of thing, but also gives them the donor's actual name, which we didn't get, and their address at the time that they donated.
Yeah.
Which means that if you wanted then to track them down, you'd have a bit of a head start. So we're not able to buy sperm from any country where
the donor has chosen to be completely anonymous forever. So they're anonymous to us, but not to our child. We didn't have mixed feelings. Jessica was very much just like, oh, I think I'd prefer a completely anonymous donor. And I was on the other side. I was like, no, I'd rather choose someone who doesn't choose to be completely anonymous. And my reasoning, which then Jessica sort of started to
came around to
was I didn't want to keep anything from them. And if we raise a child in a loving home, 1, they might not have a desire to find out the donor. And 2, if they do, we shouldn't feel threatened by that. It's just perfectly natural to probably want to find out certain things about maybe your heritage and ethnic background, if you know, things like this. And I think if we had actively chosen to not give that option, then that would be a bigger hurdle with our child than if we had just if the option is there.
Yeah, it was kind of nice to have that taken away from us, that we didn't have to make the decision between anonymous and non-anonymous.
So the US is one of those countries that has, 1, loads of donors. Secondly,
they have lots of people.
Quite a lot of the donors were like quite altruistic and happy to be the non-anonymous ones.
We have to think about finding a donor who kind of suits me, because you're only going to find a handful of people that do that.
Also, our number 1, we just wanted the donor to have no complicated medical history within the family, like even up to grandparent level. Like if any kind of grandparent had any kind of condition like diabetes or heart problems, we'd rather someone who came from like good medical background, because that was our deciding factor basically, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Because we had to make the decision, which kind of answers the question that comes up later on about me, but we had to make the decision to not use my eggs because of my genetics not being perfect. So it didn't seem right to then go and
it wouldn't be really fair if we were like, oh, we won't use your eggs, darling, because but we'll go choose a donor who potentially is also not perfect.
Yeah, that would be harsh.
I mean, there's no such thing as perfect, that's the wrong word, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
A known anomaly to your genetic makeup. That leads us on to another question of how did we choose who was going to carry? I,
unfortunately, have genetic issues that mean it would be really difficult for me to carry a baby, because I have a thing called hereditary neuropathy with liability to pressure palsies, which is painful for me to live with and means I take a lot of medication, which I would have to stop if I was carrying a baby, and I honestly don't know how I would be able to live without my pain killing medication.
Yeah.
Because like it stops the pain synapses in my brain from firing, so cannot fathom.
Also, you have a double scoliosis.
Yeah.
But I mean, imagine if you'd like stopped.
Oh wait, I haven't even got onto I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome as well.
Oh, okay,
so that's a connective tissue disorder that makes it really difficult to carry children. Yeah, a doctor did once tell me that if I tried to carry a baby, I would paralyze myself. And I was like, oh, so that is why God blessed me
to be a lesbian. And also, luckily, I've always wanted to carry myself anyway. And if Jessica was able to carry, I think we probably would take it in turns.
Yeah, I'm not gonna pretend I'm not sad about the fact I can't carry. I would absolutely love to be
I think it would suit
pregnant.
you. What are our favourite baby names right now?
Oh my god.
Well, obviously we're not going to tell you. We don't even tell our friends because, you know, you got to keep these things quite close to your chest because otherwise people poo-poo the name or they steal it. We have our name choices. We have a list of boys' names, list of girls' names. They keep, for the last like few months, they've been changing quite a bit, but now we've got our firm favourites.
Yeah, they do have things in common. They're all quite long. They're all generally names that everyone has heard before and
they're
can
all
spell.
Pronounceable and spellable names.
I like names that can be broken down into quite gender neutral nicknames because you just don't know what your child is going to be like or want to do in the world.
We also have other, like, the other reason for also potentially having a middle name is that because, you know, if they don't like their first name or whatever, they can choose their middle name.
I was not blessed with a middle name at birth.
No, I have two.
It's hurt me deeply. But we are thinking with middle names to go with something that has a nod to Claudia's Chinese heritage. Because you have a Chinese middle name and so does your sister.
It's interesting actually. Someone asked, did we choose a blonde donor or a ginger donor?
Because we said in the video that it looked like a baby me.
Because also, if you don't know, Jessica's not really ginger. She dyes her hair.
I have blonde hair.
Yeah. I always think of you as ginger because I've never seen you with blonde hair and you've dyed it this colour since you were like 17.
Yeah.
And it suits you so much.
Insert pictures of blonde me.
And you're actually not really blonde, you're like strawberry blonde, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what she tells me.
Sure.
But anyway, like, no, the donor is blonde. But the funny thing is, it could come out blonde, it could come out brunette, it could come out a little bit ginger.
Yeah, because of our nephews from Claudia's sister, the first one looks very much like you and your sister.
Yeah, like
and really see his Chinese heritage. Yeah. And the second one, strawberry blonde, blue eyes.
Yeah, my dad is strawberry blonde and had kind of a bit more of a ginger colour to his hair when he was younger.
Pale rosy child.
And our second nephew looks just like him. Will we be hiding our baby's face and name from social media?
This is a really interesting question. A kind of an interesting debate online with, I think, people who've grown up with social media profiles and are now kind of at the age where we are having babies. And we all now have to think about how do we handle privacy when it comes to our children and what does privacy mean? It can mean either you never talk about your baby's name and their face, but you might talk about issues around them, like, you know, entire blog articles about them and really personal private things. And to me, that's more of an invasion of their privacy than sharing their name.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy to share the baby's name. That's perfectly fine with me. I think we've kind of talked about photos and really happy to show photos that don't have the baby's face directly in it and maybe to post pictures with their face but a long time after.
Well, we haven't fully decided on that.
Yeah.
Are we going to find out the sex of the baby? Well, yeah, we are. We can't wait. We're just like, we want to know.
Have we not met?
I can't keep any secrets from Jessica. Like, even if I'm arranging a secret, I'm like, I'm arranging a party for you, a secret party. She's like, okay, don't tell me anything else. I'm like, okay. So we've always thought, even before we were pregnant, that we would just find out the sex. But we're not going to tell you what it is. We're not telling anyone. So we're going to keep that as a surprise to everybody else.
So yeah, until the baby comes, you can expect to see a few bits of baby content sprinkled in on there. I'm going to make a video about the things that I'm scared of about being a disabled parent. And then in a year after that video is released, I'm going to make a return video where I'm like, hey, don't worry, I'm now a disabled parent and I know I didn't need to worry about these things. She says super optimistically.
No, I'm sure it's true.
You guys can send us baby baby names. And oh
Baby
my god,
name
yes!
suggestions.
Everyone, get down in those comments of this video immediately.
I don't know.
Leave your suggestions.
We've only just shortlisted our names, and that took a long time. So I don't know if I want to throw any more into the mix and confuse it all again.
Please do it. But go for names that you actually think we would name a child.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much to Surfshark for sponsoring today's video. Remember to click the link in the description down below for 84% off with the code Jessica. See you in the next video.
Bye.
Bye.